Okay, so we have discussed up to question number 16 from the practice sheet. Now let us discuss question number 17. Again, it's a very interesting question. Question number 17 says, as observed from the top of a 75-meter high lighthouse from the sea level, the angles of depression of two ships are 30 and 45 degree if one ship is exactly behind the other on the same side of the lighthouse. Find the distance between the two ships. Okay, so you can see question is not at all difficult. You can read this question, it's very easy to understand. Question says that as observed from the top of a 75-meter high lighthouse. It means if I try to draw the diagram of this question, let us say this is the sea level, okay, and on this sea there is a lighthouse which is 75 meters high. Let us say AB is the lighthouse, and I am observing two ships from the top of the lighthouse. What is the top? This A is the top of the lighthouse. I am observing two ships from this A point such that the angle of depression. Now why angle of depression? It's because the ships are on this sea level and I am standing at the top of this lighthouse. So definitely to observe the ships I need to move my head downwards. Okay, it means I need to move downwards from the horizontal level. So it means the angle that should be formed between the line of sight and the horizontal should be angle of depression, because this is the horizontal line. Okay, so if I am standing at the top and I am just looking in front and I am not moving my head, so it means my line of sight will be this one. So the objects which are on this line will be observed to me, but ships are on this sea level. So that's why I need to move my head downward. So let us say the two ships that I am observing they are forming an angle of depression of 30 degree and 45 degree. So what we can see is, let us say the two ships, the position of two ships are C and D. Okay, now which ship will form 45 degree depression and which ship will form 30 degree depression? I will say that the ship closer to me will have more angle of depression and the ship far away from me will have less angle of depression. Why? Because you can see, if I am observing on the top of the lighthouse and if a ship is coming closer to me, then I need to move my head more and more downwards. Okay, this practically this is happening with you. Okay, so I say that the angle of depression for this C ship is 45 degrees. This is 45 degrees, and the angle of depression for this D ship, okay, this D ship which lies here, the angle of depression of this D ship is 30 degrees. Okay, and I need to determine the distance between the two ships. Now it clearly says that the two ships lie on the same side of the lighthouse. Same side means if I am standing here and I am observing this ship, I can observe this ship also. But if this ship was in the opposite side of the lighthouse, so to observe this ship or this ship, I need to move 360 degrees. Okay, I need to change my position, I need to just rotate by 180 degree. So what I mean to say is, if the two ships lie on the opposite sides of the lighthouse, then I will draw one ship here and another ship here. But it says clearly that both the ships lie on the same side of the lighthouse. So definitely if C ship lies here, then D ship also lies in the same side. So what I need to determine is CD. My task is to determine value of this CD. Let us say this is X. Okay, let us say this CD is X. Now, after that we need to identify the two right angle triangles. The two right angle triangles or n number of right angle triangles that I can observe in this figure are triangle ABC, one triangle, and then next triangle is triangle ABD. I can see these two triangles are forming in this figure. Okay, then what I can see is this line is parallel to this line because this is sea level, which is a horizontal, and this is a line of sight which is again a horizontal. So I can see this angle and this angle are alternate interior angles. Why? Because this line, this is let us say L. So line L and this BD is parallel and AC is a transversal. Okay, AC is a transversal, that is you have studied in lines, angles and triangles. That's why this angle and this angle are alternate interior angles and this angle is 45 degrees. Similarly, this angle and this, if I consider AD, AD is again a transversal of this line L and BD. That's why this particular angle and this particular angle will be alternate interior angles, and again this angle is 30 degrees. Okay. Now, I can see that there are two triangles. I have determined the two triangles. Then I need to determine the relation between the two triangles. How these two triangles are related to each other. I can see that this X CD that I need to determine, this X is basically equal to BD minus BC. Okay, BD minus BC. So I need to determine BD, I need to determine BC, then I will get the value of X. So if I observe triangle ABC, this angle is 45 degree. With respect to this angle, this is the perpendicular and this is the base. So I can see the ratio that relate perpendicular and base is tan of angle 45 degrees is equals to AB upon BC. Now from this I can get BC is equals to AB is what? AB is 75. So this is 75 meters. This is the value of BC that I can determine. How? Because AB is 75, BC is unknown, tan 45 is 1. So just by shifting this BC from RHS to LHS, I get BC is equals to 75. Then observe the triangle ABD. In triangle ABD, this is the angle. With respect to this 30 degree angle, I can see this is the perpendicular and this BD is the base. So again I can apply tan 30 degree is equals to AB upon BD. What is tan 30 degree? It is 1 upon root 3 is equals to AB is 75 upon BD is unknown. So from this I will get BD is equals to 75 root 3 meters. So we have the length of BD, we have the length of BC. Now our task is to determine X, that is CD. CD is the distance between the two ships. So what will be the value of CD? You can see, just substitute these two values and you will get CD or X is equals to 75 to the bracket root 3 minus 1. Okay, this is the value of CD or the distance between the two ships. 75 root 3 minus 1 meters. So this is how you need to solve 17th question. You can see this is not at all difficult, it's easy question. So this is the solution for 17th one. Now let us move to 18th question. 18th question says a 1.2 meter tall girl spots a balloon moving with the wind in a horizontal line at a height of 88.2 meters from the ground. So what it says is there is a balloon in the air which is floating horizontally. Okay, the balloon is not moving vertically or any random direction, it is just floating horizontally like this. And the height at which this balloon is floating is 88.2 meter from the ground level. So it says a 1.2 meter tall girl. So the girl is definitely on the ground. The girl, which is 1.2 meter tall, observe this balloon which is 88.2 meter high in the air, and this balloon is floating horizontally. Further, the angle of elevation of the balloon from the eyes of the girl at any instant. Okay, so what it says is at the instant, at any instant, at randomly an instant, the girl observed the balloon and the angle of elevation of her eyes is 60 degrees at that time. Then after some time the angle of elevation reduces to 30 degrees. Now why this angle of elevation is reduced? What I can see is, if I am observing the balloon here, I need to move my head up, and if the balloon is moving towards me, I need to move my head up, more and more up. But what the happening in this question is, if balloon is, let us say here, and I am observing this balloon, and if balloon is going away from me, then I can reduce, I can take down my head with some degrees. So what it says is, since the girl is observing the balloon which is at an angle of elevation 60 degree, further after some time it says that the angle of elevation reduces. Now why is the angle of elevation reduced? It's because the balloon is moving away from the girl. Okay. Question number 18. The angle of elevation is reduced because the balloon is moving away from girl. Okay, this is most important thing, away from girl. जब balloon girl के पास आएगा तो angle of elevation बढ़ेगा, लेकिन जब balloon girl से दूर जाएगा तो angle of elevation कम होने लगेगा. Okay, so this is what question mean to say. Let us draw the diagram. Let us say this is a horizontal ground on which the girl is standing. The girl is of height 1.2 meters. So this is 1.2 meters and this girl is, let us say, AB. AB is the girl. Now she observed a balloon in the air. Let us say the balloon is somewhere here. Okay, the balloon is somewhere here, and the balloon is at a height of CD, which is 88.2 meters. Okay, so CD is the height of balloon, and the girl observed this balloon from the point A. So the line of sight of the girl to observe this balloon is this one, like this. This is the line of sight. Okay, and what about the angle of elevation? For angle of elevation, I need to draw a horizontal at the girl's eye. Okay, this is the ground level, but there should be a horizontal at the girl's eye. So the horizontal level for the girl's eye is this one. So definitely this angle is the angle of elevation, which is given as 60 degrees. Why it is 60 degree? Because the question says that at some random instant the girl observed the balloon and the angle of elevation was 60 degrees. So this angle is 60 degree, the girl is observing the balloon. Let us say this point. Okay, this point, let us say this point is E. Now what happens? After some time the angle of elevation reduces to 30 degree. Now why the angle of elevation reduced? Because this balloon is moving in this direction. The balloon is moving in this direction. That's why the angle of elevation is reduced. If the balloon was moving in this direction, the angle of elevation will continuously increase. Okay, this is the very important point, because अगर आपको ये point clear नहीं है, then you will not be able to sketch the diagram for this question. Now after some time what it says, the balloon forms an angle of 30 degree, angle of elevation was 30 degree. It means, let us say at some random point the balloon moves a distance at point F. Let us say the balloon is at point F. So this is the balloon. The balloon is currently at point F and this is a height of the balloon. Since it says that balloon is moving horizontally, so I cannot change its height. It means balloon is not moving like this. So its height from the ground will not change. The vertical height will not change. So the balloon is at this point F and the height of balloon here also is, let us say this is G. So Fg represents the height of the balloon. Okay. Now the point at which this height crosses the horizontal line is, let us say, H. Okay. Now try to understand. What it says is the angle of elevation reduces to 30 degree. Find the distance travelled by balloon during the interval. Now which interval it is talking about? It is talking about the interval from which the girl starts observing the balloon and its angle of elevation reduces to 30 degrees. It means I need to calculate the distance travelled in this interval, that is this distance, which is CF. So my task is to determine the value of CF distance. Okay. Now which angle is 30 degree? The girl is observing this balloon here. So the line of sight drawn from this A point to observe this F point, let us say this is the line of sight. To observe this F point is this line AF and this angle is 30 degrees. Okay, this angle is 30 degrees. Now the girl is of 1.2 centimeter height. So what is the distance CF? What is the distance of balloon from the girl? Okay, what is the height of the balloon from the eyes of the girl? This height 88.2 is given from the ground level, but girl is 1.2 meter high. So if I calculate the height of the balloon compared to with respect to the eyes of the girl, okay, with respect to the eye level of the girl, I will say that CE represents the height of the balloon with respect to the eyes of the girl, the level of eye of the girl. So what is the length of this CE? This CE is of length 88.2 minus 1.2, 88.2 minus 1.2, that is 87 meters. Okay, so this height is 87 meters. Now our task is to determine the value of CF. After that, so we have understood the question and we have also identified the unknown quantity. Now what should be our next task? Our next task should be to determine the right angled triangles. I can see there are two right angled triangles that I can observe in the figure. One is triangle ACE and another is triangle AFH. Okay, this ACE, this triangle, and AFH, this triangle. My task is to determine the value of CF. Now how to relate the two triangles with this CF? I can see CF is equal to, this CF length is equal to EH length, EH, because this is a rectangle. Okay, I can assume this as a rectangle. So CF is equal to EH, and what is EH? EH is equals to AH minus AE. Okay, AH minus AE is equal to EH. So my task is to determine the value of EH. Now for that, let us consider first triangle ACE. In triangle ACE, this angle is 60 degree. So with respect to this 60 degree angle, I can see CE is the height and AE is the base. Okay, CE is the perpendicular or height and AE is the base. So which trigonometric ratio? That is perpendicular upon base, that is tan theta, or you can use cot theta, whatever you want to use. I am using tan theta. So tan of angle 60 degree is equals to AE upon, sorry, CE upon AE. This is equal to tan of 60 degree. Okay, this is tan of 60 degree, CE is perpendicular, AE is the base. So tan 60 degree is root 3, which is equals to CE. What is CE? CE is 87. This is what we have determined. CE is 87 upon AE. So the value of AE is equals to 87 root 3 upon 3. So this will give you 3 1s are 3, 3 2s are 6, 3 9s are 27, and you will get value of AE is equals to 29 root 3 meters. So we have the value of AE. Now next task is to determine the value of AH, because then only I can get EH or CF. Okay. So in second triangle AHF, in triangle AHF, this is the angle that is given in the question, 30 degree. With respect to this 30 degree, this FH is the perpendicular and AH is the base. So again I can apply tan of 30 degree is equals to perpendicular is FH upon base is AH. So the value of AH is equals to FH root 3. Now what is FH? Again you can see CE and FH both are equal because this is a rectangle. This CEHF is a rectangle. That's why FH is also equal to 87 meters. So here I can write 87 root 3. This is the value of AH, 87 root 3 meters. And AE we have determined 29 root 3 meters. So the value of this EH, where is the EH? Yes, this is EH. So the value of EH, or I can say value of CF is equals to 87 root 3 minus 29 root 3. Now when you subtract these two values, this will be 16 and this will be 58 root 3 meters. Okay. So this is the value of distance travelled by the balloon during this interval, from which or I can say in which its angle of elevation is reduced from 60 degree to 30 degrees. This should be the distance, 58 root 3 meters. Okay. So this is the solution for 18th question. It's very important question. Let me mark it a star. This is again I am saying very important question for exam point of view. So this is the solution for 18th one. Okay, so you can note this, then we will continue.